60 equal monthly payments, plus many more special set the standard event offers. See Bill Shuford Heating and Air for all the details. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. Call 704-484-0025.
You hear them pads going click, 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 click. You hear them clicks going tap, 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 tap. 704 beats by Alex J. Yeah. First and 10. We in the trenches. You like the
And welcome to the Renaldo Postgame Show. Calvin, you can do it better.
Oh, no, that sounds like a flat tire there.
I know. I won't say what. Maybe some flatulence or something.
We need Steve Robay back, don't we?
When is Steve coming
I don't
back?
know. We'll say hello to him. I think he's got us tuned in tonight.
Well, I got a prayer for him every night. Maybe that's holding him back.
Is he watching or listening?
I don't know. He's over at the hospital.
I gave him a computer, so I don't know if he knows
Really?
what he's
A
gonna do.
computer?
Yeah.
Computer to watch us.
Yeah.
Well, there's the problem right there. See,
Yeah.
you didn't give him the instruction book.
There you go.
Anyway, welcome.
Renaldo.
There you go. And you're going to be at Renaldo
Tomorrow from 10 to 2,
There
we're
you
going to
go.
have free Subway turkey sandwiches.
And he's not
For
dropping them from the helicopter, folks.
Well, I mean, no, yeah. Well, as they say here, let me see if we can pull that little up right quick. You liked that one, didn't you?
I like that.
As God is my witness,
Yeah.
I thought turkeys
Tell him,
could
Les.
fly.
That's right.
Oh.
That's it anyway.
The man is in the house. Will!
Oh,
Come
no,
on down,
not Will.
Mr. Boykins. All right, folks, we got Kevin here,
Yes.
Will here, Terry's back there. On the board tonight, we have Calvin, the man, the legend himself, and we're ready to do some post-game scores.
That's
Kevin?
right. If you want to follow along the post-game scores, as always, on KTCBroadcasting.com's, you can go listen to all the games during the playoffs. Of course, you can watch the games during the regular season. Andre Bush on the Twitter feed tonight will be getting out the scores all across the area, giving everybody updates on that. Just use your hashtag KTC Scores or tweet at KTC Broadcasting anytime you want to send some scores our way, and we'll get that out and about and retweet those and give you guys credit for those as well. We got scores across the board. We've got brackets, playoffs.
We don't know nothing about no playoffs.
We got playoffs to talk about. We've got, about anything else. Will is going to blind me with this shirt that's cut on the corner of my eye. Look at you, looking snazzy.
That's a lime green.
That's a good looking shirt, Terry.
Renaldo on them all.
That's more of a Seattle color than a Packer color.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna
We're say that for Saturday.
You folks watching on YouTube right now, thank God we have the camera on the scoreboard right now. We're gonna switch it to Will in just a few moments. I just want to warn you to back away from the screen.
Back up.
If you're watching on your 40s now, Will,
Oh, it's loud and proud, just like
what
me.
we do at our house, we've got the PlayStations hooked up to the internet at our house, and that's how we watch our internet TV and our YouTube. So the family sits at home and watches on the 46-inch TV. So you got 46 inches of Will the Thrill
Holy
sitting in the
moly.
Hastings house right now, and I'm going to warn you guys, when we switch to the camera, it's going to be bright.
Ain't nothing better going on in the Hastings
You're
house
not-
than 46 inches
You're
of
not-
Will
hey,
Boy.
Hey, you keep eating that pizza, you're going to need all 46
Will,
inches of it.
they're
too,
going
buddy.
to have to turn all the night lights off because
Yeah.
when we flip
I mean,
over to
I'm
it.
a
Does that
go.
thing glow in the dark? Did it come with batteries?
like it.
I'm like
It's hot.
diamonds.
All right, guys, it's time for some scores. Upsets across the board. If you look at some of these, some of the seedings we talked about in the pregame show, forewarning that some of these might not be upsets because the way we think, some of the seedings might have been unfair to
Are
some
you going to
teams,
do any
maybe.
comparison? We don't want to embarrass
Well,
you. Host.
no, wait till Terry. Terry's going to come here, and he's been on Rampage all night. He'll tell you about the seedings. I'll let him handle the complaining on that end. I'm going to give you the scores and try to just keep the show cool.
Let's roll.
All right, Community School of Davidson on KTC Broadcasting Night in Cherryville. WCSL, bye-bye, Calvin. He's out for the night. He'll see him at Renaldo Automall and get a turkey sandwich for Thanksgiving at Renaldo tomorrow.
Turkey.
West Lincoln. I mean, that's not a West. That's a Nin. North Lincoln.
Yeah.
42-6 win over Smoky Mountain tonight at home. Shelby wins 27-8 over West Lincoln. Hunter Huss 45-6 over Burns. Crest 41-14 over Stuart Kramer. And Kings Mountain 34-0.
Wait a minute, when did it get 14?
All on West Row End. Well,
They must have come back and got another cheap one there.
yeah. That's probably what it was.
I thought it was 41-7. My
Bessemer,
apologies.
Bessemer City 44-8 over Highland Tech. Swain County 13-6 over Mountain Island Charter. East Rutherford 17-10 over Maine, which that game's late in the third quarter. Will 3-3.
3-3.
You want me to tell you how our predictions on the pregame show on that?
Let's go.
Terry had 41-27, and I had 48-20, and it was 3-3 in the third quarter. We were off on that one. We thought East Rutherford would put up some points, and Maiden's got an outstanding defense, and when those two met tonight, you got the 17-10 outcome. I skipped one. East Lincoln, upset of the night, 13-10. East Lincoln, the 16 seed, over the 1 seed, Pisgah. 13-10, folks. East Lincoln 13-10. That sets up a matchup, and we'll be talking about this all tonight, all tomorrow, all next Friday. East Lincoln at North Lincoln next Friday night, round 2 of the playoffs.
Well, I reckon Pisgah didn't know that their mama went to East.
They did. They did, didn't they? Oh, there's going to be some smack talking up on that end of the county this week.
How about number 1 goes down? Is East Lincoln the Cinderella?
I don't know. We're going to have Terry give us some more insight on that here in just a little bit.
Doesn't their symbol of the Mustangs look a little bit like a Charger?
It looks a whole lot like a Charger. I think they stole it.
Both of you stole the Broncos, so I don't know what.
Where do you think Denver got
they
theirs?
They stole that from y'all, guys. And y'all stole your logos
we
and
can
colors
talk
of the
junk
Packers.
this week because we play Huss next week.
Oh, gosh, that's funny. Ashe County 49-14 over Salisbury. Bandy's tonight squeaks by Franklin 28-14 at home there. Bandy's advances. We're going to talk about who plays on next week in just a second. West Stokes beats Fred T. Ford 36-27.
That's pretty close.
Yes, it was. Terry said, look, if I wrote the numbers down, I would tell you. I think he was all over that one, kind of on that score. Mount Pleasant tonight falls against South Point 28-7. High Brighton 63-0 over East Henderson. Terry's going to tell you all about East Henderson in that county. And then Statesville tonight squeaks by East Rowan, folks, 7-6. That sets up another KTC matchup next week. That will be Kings Mountain at Statesville next week. You can listen to that on ktcbroadcasting.com and YouTube.
Unlucky Statesville.
Oh, here we go. Reedsville and Charles D. Owen.
And I don't know if we probably don't have time to repeat it on the postgame show, Will, but you guys should have heard Terry's stories about Statesville in the pregame. There were tears of laughter being shed in here.
Hey, Will, were you playing when Coach was Taylor was coaching there at Crest, and they went over to Statesville, and they said there was literally 6 inches of water on the field?
Yeah, that wasn't in my time.
Oh, it wasn't in your time?
I'm a Coach Stewart guy.
If it had been at Kings Mountain, they'd have called the game because of the end zone.
You know, you could have just played barefoot in that instead of just wear shoes or boots. Or,
it was lightning, so you don't. It's back before the lightning rules. So they didn't want to play barefoot.
What's everybody scared of? A little lightning.
Little lightning.
Just charge you up a little bit.
Charlotte Catholic 42-7 over Moorhead tonight. We're still waiting.
Terry had that one. What, 64-6?
It was in the neighborhood on that one. Yeah, I didn't even pick the score to tell you on that one. I just said go ahead.
Boy, look at here. Look at this score here.
Which one? Wheatmore 24-0 over Patton.
No.
One more.
We want to look at the number 1, Watauga.
Yeah.
Over Ashburn.
Yes, 49-0 tonight. Watauga's undefeated too. And I do in the pregame show. I do want to mention the coach's mother actually called the station. This is how far inside information will go on KTC.
Watauga's mother.
I talked to Watauga's coach's mother in Florida.
Ooh.
And she was calling to see how she listened to the games and find some scores and everything. But I do want to thank her for listening. I think it's Florida. It might be.
Did she have a prediction?
She was hoping her son's team did well.
Well, they did.
And they won 49-0. I think I instructed her to listen to the Thompson Funny and the Huss game because he would give some Ashbrook updates over there from the score. I'm sure they had some over there. But I want to thank them for listening. As always, all the people that are out of town, especially, that's what we do it for. Not everybody can get to the games and be in the area. You like to hear your alma maters, your sons, your nephews, your grandsons, and all that other kinfolks, cousins, and all that other good stuff.
This week I had the phones one day at the real estate office, and I got a call from this girl, and we were talking, and I just said, she was asking about a property. I said, well, where are you currently located? She said, Iraq.
Right.
I meant to ask her if she listened to the games.
I mean, is she going to U-Haul that stuff over here? I mean, how does that get?
No, I'm not going to
here?
Iraq to show her our house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was from Cleveland County and was looking. And the ironic thing, Will, I knew her grandfather back in the day. He played football at Crest. Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boom.
Well, I mean, everybody, there's 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, so, I mean, there's 7 degrees to Dennis Davis, I guess.
Careful, we might be related.
Are you a bacon?
I like bacon.
I like bacon.
We got a pizza back there with bacon on it, Will. You'll like it.
I'm going to give me some pizza with that bacon.
Speaking of that pizza, Domino's Pizza, Kings Mountain and Cherryville, our sponsors, as always, here on Friday nights.
Good stuff.
It's getting how do you say vultured right now by the children and the other announcers coming in and out of the studio. So get you Domino's while you can. They're open late night. Give them a call tonight and have them deliver you a hot Domino's pizza. I wonder if has anybody seen any of those trucks fixing any of the local streets? Any of that promotion?
Ain't seen no Domino pizza on my
They need
I
to
don't know.
do my whole
Is that
road.
promotion still on? I don't know.
I still see the commercial.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, do you do?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
I don't think they come out of California.
No,
Oh,
Because
okay.
that's the only place I know that they fix
Hey,
one
That's
at.
the
That's
only
where you
one.
can get some hot pizza, though, man. Yeah, right there.
Let's see. So looking ahead, guys, real quick to next week on KTCBroadcasting.com. You're going to know what broadcast we're going to have. Crest at Hunter Huss.
Oh, yeah.
Rematch of that
Again.
game. We're going to talk
Yeah.
a little bit more about that later. We're going to have Shelby hosting Ashe County.
Yeah, at Shelby.
The 4 seed hosting the 5 seed.
Excuse me. Hold on. Let me interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
The streak lives on 26 straight first round victories
Okay.
For the Chargers.
for the Chargers.
All right.
I thought you were talking about the Golden Lions.
No.
Kings Mountain, they're in a 5-4 matchup as well, but they got to go on the road to Statesville, so we'll have that on WOHS and KTC broadcasting as well. Let's see, our Lincoln County game of the week next week, guys. A big matchup. We'll talk about that. East Lincoln at North Lincoln. We'll have that on WLON. We'll be right. I'll be in there in a second, Terry, and take care of that. We're going to give the scores for a few minutes. For you folks calling in, just give us a few minutes. We're going to give the scores, playoff time, talk the brackets for just a second, and then we'll get settled in and start taking some calls and do a little talking about what's going on. Real quick for you folks listening to the Cherryville game, Cuz 11 yards short of the school record tonight. Jaden Blanton tonight, so close tonight, and Cherryville falls 28-21. We'll talk to Coach Pruitt in the morning more about that to give you guys a notice about that.
An upset? Since,
Yes.
it is.
Yes and no. Davidson beat them earlier this year. Cherryville led the whole game, and Andre was at most of that, and then we got Milton, of course, was that, and then no, you can't get on the radio right now.
Come on,
No,
Andre.
no,
Andre, we want to hear you.
no, he can't.
Eyewitness account right here.
But
Come on.
we're gonna get to that. We're gonna reshuffle our top. We're gonna reshuffle our top 10.
In case you hadn't figured it out, Andre's not real happy with
When the
turn
alma
at the
mater
game
loses,
tonight.
him and Terry, we got new flooring in here, and him and Terry have already worn it out, stomping up down the hallway. We got 40 yards here, Will, from here to the back end, and they've stomped it up. We're gonna start pulling the clock out on these two in just a few minutes. But yeah, when you lose in the playoffs, first round you expect to win, or you want to win.
Terry,
It's tough to take sometimes.
Terry, I got a question. Did you really think that Lincoln County was going to come to Cleveland County?
He picked West Lincoln.
Oh,
Did you really think you was going to let you come to Cleveland County and win, Terry?
Terry. Calling Terry.
Oh, my.
Well, Will, let's give him credit for being loyal to West Lincoln.
Well, that's,
And
I
earlier in the
understand.
year when Terry and I were talking about possible matchups down the road, Terry understood you have a great season and the draw you get is Shelby at Shelby. And he mumbled something about Quay Tucker, but I won't go into that.
Oh, he was going off earlier. I got a phone caller, guys. We got Steve DeGree from the Shelby West
All
Lincoln
right.
game. He was out there. He gave us a little bit more insight
Yeah.
on exactly what was going on. What's up, Steve? You out there?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
I got him. I got you loud and clear, buddy. Tell me a little bit about them Lions and Rebels tonight. Coming into the game tonight, Steve, we all talked two big things is going to come. That was going to be the key to this game. And knowing you'd be the expert on these two things. It'd be line play and turnovers. You want to tell us a little bit about what happened?
Well, I tell you something. It was a hard-fought football game. West Lincoln did have a good football game, like Shelby knew they did. I think that it's my opinion now. I hope I don't get in no trouble with what I'm saying, but I just think officials make the game get out a little hand for both sides. They make some pretty bad calls for both sides, and some of the kids got frustrated, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on, and we lost one of our players, got ejected, and it was better the second half, but the first half it was horrible. And they called both teams to the side, tried to talk to them a little bit. Right at the last play of the first quarter, they even got a personal foul on West Lincoln, and they got the penalty on the second half kickoff. But Shelby controlled the offensive line of scrimmage and defensive line of scrimmage, and as you know, West Lincoln, they couldn't pass the ball, so we had Rashad Christopher, rather. He intercepted two and ran that last one back for a touchdown to give us the margin that we had. But West Lincoln had a pretty good football team.
Hey, Steve, I know that Camarde got his first start on varsity night. He was pretty outstanding out there for you guys tonight. Which I know the answer to this. What was his answer to the defense? But I think I already know blazing speed.
I'm sorry, Marcus, I didn't hear you too good. Can you repeat that again, please?
I know Camarde Husky got his first start on varsity tonight.
Uh-huh.
He had a huge game. I know he was the player of the game, offensive player of the game on the broadcast. What did you see besides the obvious of his blazing speed that gave him that game? But I think he had 6 catches and 116 yards.
Well, first play in scrimmage, he caught the ball and took it at high 68 yards down the first play of the game. And that, gave us the momentum. But Camarde's he's got an extra gear that most kids don't have. He plays hard, and we do the jet sweep, so actually we pitch it to him, so that's considered as a pass on the jet sweep. So he just got behind his blocking and did what he had to do. But Camarde, if he plays good and keep his grades, he should be a pretty good football player. We got a good receiving core back, coming back. We got a good nucleus, a good receiving core. Mitchell and Daly and all those guys will be back next year along with Camarde.
Well, how many are you gonna lose up front this year?
We'll lose 2. We'll lose Davion Gill 62, and we'll lose Stephen 72. Our 2 guards. Our tackles are juniors, and our seniors are juniors. So that'll be good. That'll be a good nucleus. That's the other way around. That we had to rebuild the whole front. So, and another thing too, Coach Wilbanks and Coach Dunaway is done. We finally got the good up front, and we just kept the same ones and just been repping them, not being 17 like we was at first. So when they got that good, we installed Jalen Kimmel into the offensive starters, and that solidified the offensive line. And so we just rep them, keep the same ones in there, and reps take care of everything.
That's good.
Steve, how did you come out tonight's games with injuries? Is there any problem going forward?
I didn't see anybody with any injuries. A lot of the kids are just ejected. They'll be a sore because it's a real physical football game, and I just don't think they like the way the game was going. But like Coach Ware said, we got to keep our heads into the game. But sometimes people try to get inside your head and take the game away from you. So that's the main thing. We got to stay focused. We got Ash County coming in next week, and I think they throw it all over the place.
Well, you just took the words out of my mouth. This is a 5 seed. You guys are a 4 seed, so you get another home game next week. Advantage Shelby. What can you tell us about Ash County other than that they throw the ball around a lot?
Well, they must be pretty good. They scored, I think they scored 49 points tonight. So our front 4 are going to have to get after the quarterback. And once I was talking to Trey Jolly, and he found out they threw the ball, he started laughing. He started grinning, because I think he wants that challenging and getting some quarterback sacks. So the whole, defense played great, except for the butt trap at the middle. You don't win now football games, guys, if you ain't got a pretty big football.
Well, Steve, we wish Shelby a great deal of success in the coming game. I'm not so much worried about Ashe County. I know you take it one at a time, but it looks like you fellas have got a pretty good bracket there. The winner of this game would play probably the winner of the North Lincoln, East Lincoln game. And that could be interesting, Steve, because I think you guys stack up real well.
Well, we're not taking that far right now. We're just worried about Ashe County right now and lift it. They know they got a third hash between weeks like we do, so we're taking one at a time and we'll line up Friday and see what happens.
Well, Steve, we appreciate your call, but we have some honored guests in the studio tonight. In honor of Thanksgiving, we brought a couple of turkey farmers in. We've got the Royster boys right here tonight, along with the Italian stallion, Tom Senafani, from the Ohio State Buckeyes, and least but not last, his lovely daughter, Anna, who is a cheerleader for Burns and a future Ohio State cheerleader. So, Anna, give us an Ohio State cheer there.
B-U-L, go Bulldogs.
All right. Matt, you're not going to join us?
I can if you need me to.
Oh, come on down. We got plenty of room. There's a mic right over there. Join us. You'll have to quit filming. Well, Tom, Steve, thank you very much for your call. Appreciate you giving us a call and let us know how you come out with Ashe County next week. Tom, you had a game tonight. It's been a tough season for the Bulldogs. You guys have scrapped and fought and played. And at one time, the score was announced in the Crest press box that you guys were up 6-3. And there was a cheer went up through the press box at Crest, Matt, for Burns.
Well, we appreciate Crest support there, but it kind of went south fast. We had a center go down, and they tried a series of backup centers. I think we lost 7 fumbles in the game. So
yeah, and last I heard, your quarterback was out too.
Sweezy got dinged up. He came back in, but they did the smart thing as they took him out there at the end. There's no reason risking his health there at the end of the game. He's a little dinged up. If it had been a close game, maybe he plays. But they came out fired up. They turned it over on their first possession. It's the same thing we did last time we played. We turned it over on the first possession, but defense held. It was 3-0. Eventually, we got an interception. Keywan Pryor runs it back for about 55 yards. Went in and scored. Went up 6-3. And defense really played well for a good bit of the second half. But then, when we weren't able to sustain any kind of drives, Hunter Huss got a couple of touchdowns, and then they ran the second half kickoff back. And between that and the center quarterback exchange, which just they never got it worked out. And they tried some backups there, and it's what fans don't maybe sometimes understand. It's a lot harder than it looks.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't,
this is not a video game.
Yeah. So it's just it was a tough break in the second half, and just Burns never recovered. I think really once they ran the second half kickoff back, that just kind of broke their backs, and that just kind of ended the game.
Well, we've got 2 other guys here that were at the game tonight, Nelson and Matt. You guys got some observations about Burns, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about Huss, because unfortunately Crest has to go to Huss next week.
Absolutely. Well, I think Huss took it easy on us the first half. I think they came in with a mentality that they was going to blow us out right from the start of the game, and they didn't play their best football. But like I say, 17-6 going into halftime, and I don't think nobody expected us to be at that position.
Very respectable. Very respectable.
I think we shocked a lot of people. And as Tom said, that opening second half kickoff return for a touchdown just kind of demoralized our team, and you could tell the wind just kind of was taking out of our sails. But sloppy play on both sides of the ball. The field conditions weren't great. It affected our running game and stuff too. So, and definitely the center to quarterback exchange was a big issue. But Huss is a good team, and they'll do good next week against Crest. But they didn't play their best football game.
No.
But like I say, they had
might have taken you a little lightly.
Exactly. Their leading tackler, Prince Beema, I think's his name, was out. I'm not sure if he's out for the rest of the season.
I think he is.
Tom was saying he might have been out for today's game, precautionary because they were taking it lightly. But you say he's out for the season.
I think when we played them in or Kings Mountain, he got injured, and it was reported that he might be out for the rest of the year. But Matt, you know how that is.
Well, we weren't welcome in the press box, so we were outside. But when I went into the press box, I overheard some of them talking about how they thought maybe he was going to be out 1 week and maybe he'd come back the next week. But you know how small town football people are, so people say things without confirming them. But
the question I have, Nelson, did they feed you good down there?
Well, we ate before the game. We went to home folks cafe, and I never took Jewel there. I didn't really know about the place, before she died and everything. But it was really good. I had fried chicken and everything. I had a really good time, and then we rode to the game, and and I had fun at the game. I froze, but I still had fun. I was really proud of them. They really played hard. I mean, that first half was just so wonderful, especially the first quarter. And Hunter Huss just took over in the second half, and they did what they were supposed to do. And but we played hard, and I can't say enough about our boys. Now, Kuwan Pryor, he's got one more year. He is going to be a stud. Yeah. And he already is, but just wait till next year.
I'm pretty sure he got over 2,000 for the season.
What did you say? He had 93?
He had 93. He came in at 1,906, you think?
1,903. So he's going to be.
He's right at the 2,000 mark for the season. Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask about the food, Nelson, I was talking to a guy at Crest tonight, and he was telling me about when we played down there that they fed them real well. They had a lady that cooked for them. He said, and she, first of all, she cussed me, and then she asked me if I got enough to eat.
Now, where are you? Yeah. What was this at Hunter Huss with Crest or?
This was when Crest and Hunter Huss were playing. There's a lady that cooks there for the press
box. No, she does. She caters. She doesn't cook. She caters.
I just sat in the stands. I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
But
you didn't bring him up.
The reason why we weren't in the press box is they don't have a press box there at Hunter Huss. It's the fan box, and the press goes outside. So it's most schools let the press in the press box. But they need to call it the fan box over there because it was really the fan box.
Not to mention it's on the visiting side.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to have it on the home side back when Coach Bean was coaching Burns in 2013.
Oh, they
we were on
flip it
the opposite
back
side,
and forth.
and then they swapped sides. Yeah. So we went over on the press box side in 2015.
And not to mention the PA box or the loudspeakers right beside the radio booth where we got set up, where our table set up. Yeah. So starting the game, it sounded like we was in a club.
And over there, like I would give a tip to any.
He said, "Welcome to Club Gastonia."
To any PA announcer that the speakers project your voice, so you don't need to yell into the microphone.
I've heard some rumors that it's a little loud.
Yeah, I mean, so when you scream into it, that's a good thing I packed some Tylenol. This is like, if I go back to Hunter Huss, I'm going to bring my rain gear, my Tylenol, earplugs, and just really a sedative because those are necessary.
We got to go play them next week.
Yeah.
I'm
just telling you, next regular season.
Yeah. The Fosters are listening. Bring yourself a little kit, a survival kit.
They got put out in the stands to broadcast when they were down there. So I'm sure they've got a spot picked out.
It's okay. I will say this. All levity aside, the Hunter Huss football team is really, really good.
They're the real deal.
I mean, they're up. Their front four is really, really good. Their quarterback Wallace is good. They got a couple running backs. Corey, I think, is one of them. A couple others.
I think it's Davis.
Davis is another one. They are really, really good on both sides of the ball. And I wish the boys of Hunter Huss, good luck to you.
Yes,
their coaching staff's done a good job.
That'll be a great game next week when Hunter Huss plays Crest. And I just want to say, these college coaches, they need to be taking a look at Kuwan Pryor.
Yeah,
they really do.
Well, listen, we're a post-game scores show, and we've got some scores on the board over there. Nelson, would you and Matt like to give us scores for us?
Go ahead, Nelly.
All right, we have Community School of Davidson beat Cherryville, it looks like, 28-21. It's a tough loss for the Ironmen. They were winning. I seen that on Twitter. And North Lincoln 42, Smoky Mountain 6. Shelby 27, West Lincoln 8.
Say that
Terry.
softly, you get Terry upset.
I'm
sorry about that, Terry.
Sorry, Terry. And we already know that Hunter Huss beat Burns 45 to 6. Crest 41, Stuart Kramer 14. Kings Mountain 34, West Rowan nothing. Bessemer City 44, Highland Tech 8. Polk County 33, East Wilkes 16 and 1AA. Mountain Island Charter is a member of Cherryville's conference, falls to Swain County 13 to 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
East Rutherford 17, Maiden 10. That was a good game, looks like. Reedsville beats Olin, Swananoa Olin 49-13. East Lincoln, the upset of the night.
Yeah.
I seen this on Twitter.
Wow.
East Lincoln 13, Pisgah 10. So
That's
that
a
means
16 beating a 1.
yes,
Wow.
like
Has
like
that happened
like
before?
Virginia losing to UMBC.
It was, yeah.
Has that happened before, Dennis? 16 over a 1?
Yes.
It has a
Yes,
few
this happens a
times.
few times.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens a few times.
Cinderella is tap dancing right now.
Yeah, yeah, but that's a big win for the Mustangs. It really is.
All right, let's get the rest of those scores.
Okay,
Matt, you
Ashe County 49, Salisbury 14 and 2AA. I believe they play Shelby next week at Shelby.
That's correct. And I
Bandies-
understand they throw the ball a lot, Nelson.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with that one. Bandy's 28, Franklin 14 and 2AA. West Stokes beats Fred T. Ford 36 to 27. I believe that means Brandy's will play West Stokes next week.
Yeah.
And then Mount Pleasant falls to South Point 28-7. High Brighton, no trouble with East Henderson 63 to nothing.
Now, that's going to bring up an interesting matchup.
Yep.
South Point and High Brighton. Those two teams run that same offense.
Yes, they
And
do.
If you've
Very
seen
similar.
one, you've seen the other. Who's got the better talent? I have to say High Brighton right now. They're defending state champions. All right. Sorry, Nelson.
You're fine. That was going to be a great game. States will beat East Rowan 7 to 6 in 3A.
Close one.
Catholic, no trouble with Moorhead 42 to 7. That game got moved to Olympic. So if we'd have played Catholic, we'd have had to play at Olympic. But anyway, because of their field. But then Freedom lost to Monroe 43 to 20. Watauga, no trouble with Ashbrook 49 to nothing. Winston-Salem Parkland beats Asheville 32-19 3AA. And Patton got shut up by Wheatmore. I guess that's 3AA too.
You mentioned Charlotte Catholic there. The winner of the Crest and Huss game will probably end up playing Catholic.
Yeah.
And it'll be at Catholic.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Will, we've been down to Catholic and had some success a couple of times. But I tell you what, that's an interesting place to play. And the winner of that Huss Crest game will have their hands full down at Charlotte Catholic.
Yes. Crest has been down there, and they've won a few times.
Yeah, we've won it twice at least.
In 2006, we were a kickoff return away from going there. Burns was. But we lost to Northwest Cabarrus in the third round of 2006. If we'd have won that game, we would have played at Charlotte Catholic the following week.
All right.
Nelson, we got the Domino's Pizza, but we got Trey Albright on the line, guys.
Oh,
He's been
Trey.
holding a while, but hold on. But while we got now, he's holding for Nelson for a while. He said, "Y'all talk as long as you want." But we've got the Nelson Roycer Domino's Pizza special delivery picks for next week right here.
Oh,
I got 4 games. I got 4 specials. These are our KTC broadcasting games next week, Nelson. I want you to pick the games. Okay. We're gonna start in Lincoln County before we come over to Cleveland County. North Lincoln at East Lincoln. East Lincoln at North Lincoln.
Oh, they play each other.
Yes, round 2 rematch
At North Lincoln,
from
I
earlier
guess.
this year.
Is
Yes,
there a
year.
belt involved or anything?
There is no belt involved in this.
So they do play for a belt. I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is Bessemer City Cherryville plays for the belt. East Lincoln and North Lincoln. Will says and they argue about whose mama went to what school and stuff like that. Over
Yeah,
there.
your mama went to East.
That's the cheer. Who you got, Nelson?
I'm going to go North Lincoln, I guess, since they're at home. But it's going to be a very good game.
Yep. All right. Next game, Ashe County at Shelby Golden Lions.
I'll say Shelby in a close one.
Next game, Kings Mountain in Statesville.
I'll go stay in Cleveland County, Kings Mountain.
And the last game for you to pick the next week on KTC Broadcasting, Crest at Hunter Huss.
It's going to be a good game, but I'll have to go with Hunter Huss.
All right,
They're
there's
so
your
talented.
that's your Nelson Royster.
What happened with the Cleveland County Pride or not?
Oh, yes, I know. Sorry,
So
Chris
much for
fans.
that pride.
Sorry, Chris fans.
Huss is pretty good, ain't they, Nelson?
But Huss is a great team.
That's
the best Hunter Huss team I can ever remember this year.
That's your Nelson Royster Domino's Pizza special delivery. Pick those up Kings Mountain Cherryville tonight. We've got pizzas down the hall.
I started to say, does he qualify for a piece of pizza?
He can have all the pizza he wants because
right.
he helps provide all the turkeys we want next week for Thanksgiving.
Well,
so
go out and support the cause.
Is this your favorite holiday?
Well, it's one of my favorites because it just gives you time to reflect on what really matters the most and being thankful and everything. And I just want to hold off on making a big deal about Christmas until after Thanksgiving. That's just me.
You got it. There you go. Good wisdom from Nelson here. Matthew, you got anything to add in the Royster report here?
Hey, just go out and eat a lot of turkey next week.
A live one.
Eat a turkey, don't be a turkey.
All right, guys, that's Nelson and Matt Royster, Tom Cinefani, Anna Cinefani, all in the gangs in here from
I need more
from
Anna.
the Burns crew.
Anna's
Yeah, we need to get Anna. We need to get Anna on there.
Anna, do you want to say bye? I don't know if she does or not. She's
I
down
just
there.
want to say one other thing. I wasn't going to say anything about this, but I'm kind of lucky to be here. I had a little accident last month, and I'm not able to drive for a while, but I'm doing good. I missed a few games, but I'm back. So
they're not letting you ride turkeys for a while, right?
Well, I'm still working some.
Well, Nelson, the only thing I got to say to you is buy you some sunglasses because yours in the Burns Bulldog future looks bright.
Yes, they do. With Kuwan Pryor and Cameron Sweets is only going to get better. He'll be a junior. And we'll have some other guys coming up. Austin Setzer. Austin Setzer's one of our key defensive players. He'll be back.
Well, you can't forget the middle school team.
Championship
you gotta think some of those guys coming up next year might be moved up to varsity. So
you got to think
a lot of talent coming up that way.
Yeah. I'm proud of them too, and I should have gone to a few more of their games, but I'm so proud of them, and they just had such a great season.
All right, Nelson, I want to thank you for coming in. We're so glad you're better. We have had a lot of calls and texts and tweets and everybody asking about you. What's your tell everybody your Twitter feed out there to follow you out there. Give you a shout out to yourself. Follow you online.
Nelroy78.
There you go, folks. If we get you some up to and do you still tweet for the Burns Bulldogs there?
Yes, I do.
I just want to make sure since the injury.
Yes, I do.
If you had a DH or not. I missed I didn't tweet one game except that night I was in the hospital. Right.
I was retweeting.
Right.
But other than that, I missed the Forest View game too, but I was watching KTC.
Well,
so
there you go.
Technically, I didn't. In a way, I didn't miss it.
You didn't miss it at all, and if it wasn't for fans like you and all the fans that we listen to KTC and call it every night, Nelson, we wouldn't do what we do. All right, we got to get to our phone caller. Trey's been holding forever, so let's pull Trey up.
Yeah,
thank you, Trey.
Trey, are you on the line there? Trey, you still there?
Hello, Trey.
Let me try to put him in here. Let's try a different one.
Okay.
Hey, Trey, you there?
Hey, guys.
There you go.
What's going on?
Hey, Trey. And now for the Crest side of this report.
Nelson, you guys can relax, eat some pizza, stay on the show, whatever you guys want to do. Welcome to roam around KTC Studios and enjoy some Domino's. Enjoy some of that Domino's.
Yeah. Check out our hot tub and our spa back here.
Well, Dennis and Trey's got some
getting a VIP treatment tonight.
Yeah,
me and Chris got to talk a little Charger football. And you guys may not want to hear this.
Chris, y'all got a great team. I'm not saying anything against. I'm not having. Y'all took it to us and. Y'all got a good team too. Y'all can beat them.
All right, Trey.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
Hey, guys.
You were down on the field tonight.
I just want to agree with Tom about the announcer, Hunter Huss. He has got to be the most annoying announcer in a football game I've ever heard.
Yes, I thought of you when
Tom was awful nice to him when he's on the radio, but he is one of a kind. And if you got a chance to go down there, I advise you not to. I have to listen to him.
Well, too bad my drop cord doesn't reach to Gastonia, so I'll be over here at the station or watching Shelby and Ash County next week.
The thing is, we really wanted to go back there, so we were really looking forward to going back there. Hopefully, we can mute him and get a lead, and he won't be as annoying as he usually is. So.
All right. Well, Trey, talk about the Chargers tonight. I noticed some things different about this team. I want to compare some notes with you. I thought we did a better job of getting the signal and the calls into the quarterback. Peyton was coming over to the sideline. Coach was telling him directly what he wanted. He was going back out. I know he got a few miles on him going back and forth, but I thought that was much more efficient than what we've been doing. The play calling itself was a little more diverse than what we've had.
Yeah, they rolled Peyton out a little bit more tonight, Dennis, from what previous games. And, usually, in the past he'd be a pocket passer, but they rolled him out a little bit more. And he was pretty accurate tonight as far as rolling out. And I thought he looked good, looked excellent throwing the ball tonight. Probably the best he's looked all year.
Yeah.
So, they got him outside the pocket a little bit and give him a little bit more time. But you're right, that offense, it was a lot more efficient tonight. They were doing little things different as far as the play calling and signals and stuff like that. So I thought it worked out well. And to me, it looked like a totally different offense. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was – I was wanting to see – I was waiting to see – we were talking to the guys this week, waiting to see how we reacted to this loss at Kings Mountain because it was pretty much a dagger because they come in late, they scored late, and they didn't lead the whole game until the last minute and a half. So we want to see how the guys reacted, and Dennis, they come out and your first possession will go down and score, and then I think the turning point where not really a turning point, I guess we were ahead, but the nail to put in the coffin, I think, was about the first possession in the second half. I think they fumbled. Stuart Kramer fumbled the first play. We score on the very next play or two plays after, so that kind of put them down, and our defense played lights out in the first half all game long, but really the first half. I don't think Stuart Kramer had a first down the whole half, but they did score a long touchdown, like 40-yard pass. But but other than that, they really did not move the ball in the first half. And, you saw a little different personnel in there, I think. You got Jalen Graham back. I think that's going to make a huge difference in this offense. You saw it a little bit tonight, trying to work him back in. So I expect some big things coming from him next week. If you think back, Michael Green didn't play as much in the first Stuart Kramer game. He made a difference tonight. Scored a touchdown, a great catch, great
quarterback,
great throw by Peyton.
And quarterback,
great throw by Peyton and a great catch by Michael. And Jalen's been out for a while, and he missed the Stuart Kramer game, I believe. So and the Huss game. So Huss is going to see a different Crest team, and we expect to see a different Huss team, but. We're ready for it. I think Crest is ready for it, and I'm ready to go now. We can go down and play for all I care.
We can play them tomorrow if you want to, or tonight.
Wait, we got a championship game tomorrow.
That's right. Your Bulldogs are playing over at Springmore.
Springmore Bulldogs got their championship game tomorrow. We play at 4 o'clock at Crest High School, so we got games all day. So we do not know who we play until about lunchtime. So we either play Union or we play the City Park. So
and that's going to be tough on the other team because you guys have got to bye, and they got to play a morning game and then come back and play in the afternoon. I don't think that's right for kids that age to have to do that. We should postpone that.
We just show up and play when we're supposed to, Dennis.
Well, that's what you got to do at any level.
To play, and that's when we show up and play. So I don't agree with it, but there's nothing. I don't have a say in it. So. We just strap it up and go play. So we're looking forward to it. This group, there's a couple kids in this group that have been to 5 straight championship games, and they've lost 1. That's the kindergarten year. So this will be number 4 if we win it tomorrow, 4 in a row. So we're pretty jacked up. We had a good practice tonight. So we're looking forward to it tomorrow. But guys, you were talking about earlier, Dennis. There's some huge games the second round of the playoffs next week.
Oh yeah.
You got Monroe going to Catholic. That's going to be a big game. You got Highbrighton hosting South Point. I think that's going to be a great game.
Oh, those two offenses, you can just see them grinding at each other's knees.
that game might be over by 8:15.
Hey, one of the things I was interested in tonight, we all know Trey Harbison, who's at Northern Illinois, is now playing. His brother was playing, however, for Stuart Kramer tonight, who grew up a Charger fan. James, you need to get that boy back over in the green and gold. Will, what you got to say about that?
Over there, see what we could do with him. I know he lined up at wide receiver, and he was the punter. So I know he's been the punter for a couple years, and he's a standout soccer player from what I hear also. So, he's a good little athlete. I guess the Harbison blood runs deep. So, it's Stuart Kramer. I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't worried about tonight, but I knew they were a pretty good team. But Crest took it to them. Crest played really good tonight, offensively and defensively. So,
well, Trey, anytime you play the same team twice in one year, it can be a bit of a trap. And I'm hoping we trap Hunter Huss next week.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Dennis, I feel really good about this Crest team. I think they're going to do some good things. We'll see what it plays out next week. But if we play to our potential, last game we played, they caught us on a big play. It was like 3rd and 19 and like a 90-yard pass play, and then we turned the ball over inside our 3-yard line. That's their 2 scores. So, here and there. We have a touchdown called back on a holding penalty on the first possession of the game. Things will change. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm looking forward to it. I know the guys and the coaching staff's looking forward to it, and they're gonna. I think it's going to be a different outcome, to be honest with you, this next week.
Well, Trey, the last thing that Charlotte Catholic wants to hear is that Crest beat Hunter Huss.
Yeah, hey, we're 2-0 against the Cougars, and I'm going to tell you, y'all were talking about going to that stadium. I absolutely, I've been to both games that Crest played, and I absolutely love that stadium. I mean, the fans are right on top of it, on the action. It's a great high school atmosphere.
Well, Scott Neisler and I were down there the last couple of times we played up on top of the press box with the camera crews up there and the coachers, and we were listening to it, and Scott were just sort of standing back there. And Crest was ahead, and Catholic runs a very deliberate offense. And I just turned to Scott and I said, when they're that far behind, like 2 touchdowns, they can't catch you. I said, tick tock. You're just running out the clock. They can't catch you at that point. One of the coaches got mad, turned around, said something to me. You get back over on your side, kind of thing. And the camera crew for them was actually from Kings Mountain, and the guy was so apologetic. I don't think that coach is there anymore. He said, they were perfect. They had an unbeaten season, I think, and we just got in their heads, and then we ran all over them. And our time there, we had some great players. We had Byers, we had Ledbetter.
Yep.
Ledbetter played probably the best high school game I have ever seen. The problem was they left it on the field, and when we got to the championship game, they were just beat.
I was gonna say that was probably one of the most physical games I've seen either team play. Like I've seen in a long time a physical football game. And you're right, we were so beat up going into that next week, the championship game. It really wasn't fair. Because to play that good of a game, and you're right, Raheem Ledbetter, he laid it out all on the field that night. It was unbelievable to watch, and it was one of the greatest performances I've seen as a Crest football player.
Yeah. Well, listen, Trey, give us a call next week about the Stuart Kramer, especially, the Hunter Huss when you knock them off. We got to take a break right now, pay some bills. Trey, thank you, buddy. Appreciate your call.
Trey, tell Nick I said hello.
Thanksgiving.
All right,
he said happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving back to you.
Let's go.
And thank you. If you see Trey, thank you for everything he does. He helps out Andy and them with the stats there on the sidelines. Best view on the field there for Rob Roop calling the game. So thanks, Trey, for all he does. Happy Thanksgiving to him, too, as well. All right, we got to take a break. We're going to get wound up. We're going to come back, give some more stats, and some scores and some matchups for next week and talk a little top 10. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
I want someone to hold me.
Ride today at Blanton Cars in Shelby, the new car alternative. Come on in today and ride today. Down payments start as low as $500. Come on in for all the details. And check out the huge selection of late model cars, trucks, SUVs, and more. Shop online at BlantonCars.com. Ride today at Blanton Cars in Shelby, the new car alternative. Visit the locations today, 325 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby and at 1711 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Blanton Cars in Shelby. At Brinkley Financial. The Roundup store in Shelby is having a round 'em up, clear 'em out, get 'em out of the way sale. Right now, you'll find odd and end sizes of windows, brand new at up to 50% off. Different sizes to choose from. But hurry, there is a limited supply. First come, first serve. Don't miss it. The round them up, clear them out, get them out of the way sale on odd and end sizes of windows. Brand new at up to 50% off. The Roundup Store, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby.
S&M Sports Shop is your dealer for Under Armour sports apparel in Cleveland County. Come by and see the selection of Under Armour shirts, shorts, shoes, socks, and sunglasses. S&M is also your team outfitter for all local schools in whatever sport you play. They have leather jackets for all local high schools. Plus, S&M is your headquarters for Oakley Sunglasses. For all your athletic needs, go to S&M Sports Shop. They're located at 707 South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
You could be the next satisfied customer at S&R Auto Sales in Shelby. Come in now and check out the huge selection of late model, pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and more. And with a low down payment, you could be riding today. Come in for all the details, and chances are you'll be the next satisfied customer from S&R Auto Sales, 417 South Post Road in Shelby, online at srautosales.com. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Saturday. That's S&R Auto Sales. Learning to drive is made easy with Safe Lane Driving School in Shelby. No matter your age, Safe Lane Driving School can have you on the road. If you're a student, you receive 30 hours of classroom instruction and 6 hours of driving. And you may have already taken your classroom work and you're waiting to drive. No use to wait. Contact Safe Lane Driving School. They can do the behind-the-wheel training you need, taught by a retired state trooper with over 28 years of experience in highway safety. Safe Lane Driving School, 1230-8 East Dixon Boulevard, Highway 74 East in Shelby. Online at safelanedrivingschool.com and on Facebook too. Start driving today. Holiday cooking starts with a stop at Shelby Hardware. You'll find turkey fryers, King cooker fryers, Butterball oil-free and electric cookers. Plus see the Pit Boss pellet grills, Louisiana pellet grills, and Primo grills. And check out their stocking stuffers like case knives, Christmas flags, grade load shotgun shells, Zippo lighters, BB guns, hand warmers, knife sharpeners, and more. All at Shelby Hardware, 506 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. For over 100 years, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home in Fallston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added the Cremation Center along with a new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Fallston, and the Stamey Funeral Home in Cherryville, located on Dixie Street in Cherryville, serving you with care and compassion in your time of need.
So proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option. I like that move, right? Keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. Full receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end, some awesome.
We got two cameras out there, and he won't go out there in front of either one of them. Back here dancing. That's Juwan G. Wilson. Friday Night Lights win. Check it out on YouTube. Former Cherryville Ironman running back. Jaden Blanton blew by his rushing record. That was wrong. Andre said that was low. No, Juwan probably had about 900 yards. Do you know how many he had? It was 9-something. Yeah, I thought it was right at 1,000. So Juwan Wilson, a rapper and a good running back. So there you go. Welcome back to KTC Broadcasting.
I really like this song. Really like this song.
Well, you want to dance, sing? What you want to do?
Let's move forward.
All right, give the score. Let y'all give the scores for tonight.
All right. Will. In our first game, we have.
And by the way, on hold is Jeff Jones when y'all get done with the scores.
Oh, okay.
Give the KTC scores and then go to Jeff.
All right, first game we got Community School of Davidson 28, Cherryville 21. North Lincoln 42, Smoky Mountain 6, Shelby 27, West Lincoln 8, Hunter Huss 45, Burns 6, Crest 41, Stuart Kramer 14, Keys Mountain 34, West Rowan. Yeah, it's West Rowan. West Rowan 0, Benjamin City 44, Highland Tech 8, East Wilkes falls to Polk County 33-6, Swain County over Mountain Island Charter 13-6.
Chris Hawk ain't gonna like that.
He ain't gonna like that beat. East Rutherford 17, Maiden 10, Reedsville 49. What is that?
Charles D. Owen.
Charles D. Owen 13.
That's up in Black Mountain.
Yeah, why don't they just call it Black Mountain?
Well, they could just call it Mountain. Don't have to be racial about it.
All right. We got the big upset of the night. Number 16, East Lincoln 13. Number 1, Pisgah 10.
That's a 16 beating a 1.
Cinderella is starting to dance.
All right, guys. Jeff Jones on hold. I told you to read the first board. Y'all just kept on going. Here we go, Jeff. What's up, man? Tell us about them Shelby Golden Lions against the West Lincoln Rebels tonight.
Well, I tell you what, Kevin, you've been talking all year. You had West Lincoln ranked pretty high, and I got to say that they're a good football team. They really are.
Yeah, I mean, we gave our picks tonight. Terry actually picked West Lincoln to win. Said they'd win if they win the turnover battle, they could win. And I had Shelby, I think, by 2 touchdowns maybe. And you guys, they hung in there good with you guys tonight.
They did, and they got some tough kids, and I thought the key for them would be to limit big plays by Shelby, and get 3 and 4 yards and hang on to the football. And they did. Second half, I think there were like 110 total yards in the second half. I think 50-some by Shelby and 60 by West Lincoln. And so both defenses were really dominant in the second half. But Shelby won the turnover battle, and they were able to have, they had the big, huge play, first play of the game through a 68-yard touchdown pass, went up 7-0, and then got a field goal to go up 10-0, and another field goal to go up 13-0. And just when West Lincoln could have said, okay, here we go, they had a big run for a touchdown, got a 2-point conversion, and it was on from that point. And Shelby played. I think you'll see Shelby played a little bit better than people think they did, but it was just a real herky-jerky game with a lot of the stoppages of play that we had.
Well, Jeff, there was some early things that happened in the game that were not pretty, as you and Mr. Pasco described it. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, you had some late hits, and you had some officials at the very beginning of the game. They have to throw some flags just to make sure people get the understanding that we're not going to allow there's certain things we're going to be real picky about, and I think that they let things go a little bit too far. I don't want to be kicked off the air because I was because I'm officiating's a really difficult thing. But there were a lot of times that I thought there were some extracurriculars, and at some point you need to throw a flag, call personal foul on both sides, and then also go talk to the coaches and say, hey, we're not going to allow this. And then in the second half, I thought they kind of did that. They everybody went in at halftime. Got everybody under control. In the second half, we didn't have a lot of trouble, but it was a little bit scary there.
What I was trying to ascertain from your earlier discussion was this something where the officials were a little lax in getting control of the game, or was it the players being overly aggressive? And if so, because it's
I mean, it's a playoff game. It's a playoff atmosphere. Neither of these teams have played for 2 weeks, and you get a big hard hit on the sideline, and then and somebody gets hit out of bounds, and then somebody shoves somebody, then somebody shoves somebody back, and then somebody says something, and at some point you got to throw a flag. You got to call a personal foul on both sides, and you got to talk to everybody. But I don't know. It's officiating's a difficult thing, but there were several times where it looked like there was some pushing and shoving, and they just pushed and shoved for a while. Then he went back to the huddle, and nothing got called. And so that's if you can do that, and then you go back to the huddle and nothing's called, then what's to stop you doing it again? So. Again, that's kind of tough.
All right, Jeff, let's move on to something a little bit more positive. You guys had a victory tonight. You came out of that 27-8. You made Terry Reinhardt very sad with that. Terry.
Well, Terry said that West could win if they won the turnover battle.
Yeah.
And they lost the turnover battle 3-0. Terry could have been right.
Yeah.
Because those 3 turnovers, stopped. Well, one turnover was just at the end of the first half, so that didn't really have anything to do with much. But there were an interception that gave Shelby good field position early in the second half, and then there was an interception that Shelby ran back for the touchdown that put the game away. So, it was a 3-0 on turnover. It's hard to win when you turn it over 3 times.
Well, in fairness to West Lincoln, Jeff, they had for West Lincoln a very, very good season, won a lot of ball games. And then the first round draw is Shelby at Shelby. That's not something anybody draws up on their plans of success.
Yeah, that's a tough draw, but I want to say how impressed I was with their crowd. They had a huge crowd, and they stayed to the end of the ball game. I mean, even a lot of times, like last week when Shelby was playing South Point, 2 weeks ago, big crowd, but once Shelby, scored that touchdown to kind of put it away, all the South Point guys got up and left. But the West Lincoln guys stayed to the end of the game. They were very supportive of their team, and their team played hard. And, Coach Sane has done a great job with them, and 9-3, that's a really good record. And, hopefully he can build on that next year.
Well, we've got Mr. Reinhardt himself here, and he's going to give the West Lincoln side of the story. I'm just going to say this. I was proud of the West Lincoln Rebels this year and their effort on the field. And if I was a coach or a player, West Lincoln is a program that you could be proud to represent because they're good people in the community, and it's a good institution. And Terry works there. We may be a little prejudiced, but we like West Lincoln, Terry. So give us your side of this game tonight.
Well, Coach Jones, I mean, I think the guys come. I mean, I don't think any of them ever gave up. And, one thing about West Lincoln, and I like what you said, the fans come and they stay. Well, no matter what the score is, them people are going to stay until the very end, whether they're getting beat by 50 or 10 or 2, But I'm proud of what they did. I mean, we was kind of upset with the draw. I don't blame them because, it's last year 4-7 having to go to Reedsville to play, and this year, with the way that things end up happening, you move up 3 spots and you draw Shelby. And nobody wants to go play Shelby in the first round because we know you're very stout and you got a good squad. You got a lot of athletes that can play. But, I give the guys a lot of credit for coming over there. I mean, the first half I thought they played with you. Yeah, there's always going to be something when you fall behind, and these guys, a bunch of senior leadership on that team, and they tried to give you everything they had.
Well, they did, and, obviously, if you remember when I was coaching at Shelby, I got to say I like that offense that they're running. They're running the wing bone offense pretty much the way we did it. And, the first time that the first offensive play, they ran what we call 10 fan. It's a double option. Quarterback keeps it up the middle and picks up like 16, 17 yards. And Daryl Montgomery ran that about the second time we had the ball against Southern Vance, took it for a touchdown. And it's good play, and I don't think Shelby was quite ready, for that particular double option, because we're expecting, the wing T, and there's some really neat things you can do with the wing T and the triple, and West did it, and they moved the ball, they moved the ball some, had some big plays. I thought there were probably 2 times that they could have scored a touchdown. They just didn't quite have the speed to take it all the way to the end zone. I think there's a lot to be proud of for West Lincoln. And then on the other side, Shelby, you jump out and you get up 13-0, and then you give up that touchdown and the 2-point conversion is 13-8. And then Shelby, boom, 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 came back, scored a touchdown right away to put it back into a 2-possession game. And so from that point on, you kind of feel good when you're up by 2 possessions.
Well, Coach, I want to ask you one more thing. And I know every year Max Preps, Q Tucker, everybody gets together and they try to figure this out. I know last year they had South Caldwell with a bye in the 4A and 1-10 and everybody sat back, how can that happen? Well, they've tried to fix that this year because McDowell won their 4A this year over South Caldwell. Well, they didn't give it. They also said if you're a sub-500 team, then we're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. We're going to give you a lower seed. And I still think that we need to sit back and take the number one teams. I'm okay with your number one teams getting all your bids at the top. But when you go from number 2 down, I mean, it all depends on what kind of conference that you are in. And when I look at stuff like that, I look at, like a Fred Tuford, who was a number 2. I look at a Burlington Cummins that's in the Reedsville Conference, a number 2 at 4 and 7. And I think that sometimes you got to sit back and go by who the teams have played. If they've played each other, that should have a huge factor in how you determine how you rank them.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting, the NCHSAA had the adjusted max preps rankings, which were different from the max preps because, max preps would have had Shelby higher than Bandy's. They would have had, that Shelby would have been a 2 or 3 instead of the 4 that they were. And Pisgah got that 1 seed, and nobody could quite understand why Pisgah should get the 1 over High Brighton. And then obviously that was a good question to have since they turned around and lost to East Lincoln. But, there's so many ways to try to do it, and I'll reiterate that a couple of weeks ago I did call in after the South Point game. I'm just glad they don't go back to the way it was, to where this year Southwest 2A is going to get 2 playoff berths. Next year they're going to get 3. And when you get 2 playoff berths, you have a situation where, 1992 Shelby was 8-2, came in 3rd in the Southwest Conference, didn't make the playoffs. So,
and those coin flips, Jeff, we've all been through that. Coaches meeting somewhere for breakfast and flipping a coin, and somebody go home with nothing.
Yeah. And, they come up with this Mountain 6 2A conference, and I don't mean to talk about the conference. But
go ahead and talk about it.
Well, when they come up with it, they said, how come they got the number 1 seed? They said strength of schedule and their conference. Well, every team in that conference made the tournament. I mean, they made the playoffs. Pisgah played tonight. They were beat. High Brighton, and I knew High Brighton was going to do that to East Henderson because if you look at everything that was being said, High Brighton says, okay, we're going to show everybody else who we really are.
Right.
And when I look down at Pisgah lost, Smoky Mountain lost, Franklin lost, East Henderson lost. That's 4 out of the 6. And Bavard won and Hendersonville won. But, when you are sitting here and you're going to say this conference is the toughest and you got a team that finished last at 0-5 making the tournament, I have a hard time with that.
Yeah, and, I heard you talking about it on the way. When I was on the way to the game, I was listening to y'all some. And, obviously the fact they were 0-5, the fact they were 5-1 going into the conference, that's what got them into the playoffs, being 5-6. But, yeah, it's just like you think, well, maybe you should worry more about conference, but then you also said you didn't think a second-place team should knock out another. So, it's tough. It's really difficult to try to do those seeds, but they'll keep changing. They'll come up with something new again next year, and maybe they'll do a little bit better job. But I always like to pay attention to the Simmons ratings.
Yeah.
Brian Simmons. And he does a really good job. And every week he puts down, what his record was, how his picks went. And, he's got, several mathematical formulas that he looks at things. And, he'll tell you that the home team gets a 3-point, favor right from the get-go. Because, like, Shelby and South Point played last week. And South Point was like 3.6 points ahead of Shelby, but they were playing at Shelby, so Shelby was going to get the 3 points. And so they said that, Shelby and South Point was no favorite, but South Point had a slight chance to win. Of course, he was wrong, but, I think that, he does a nice job. And so sometimes I think maybe, looking at his ratings, because I don't think he has a dog in the fight. I don't think he has an axe to grind. I think he just uses his mathematical formula and figures out who he thinks, has the advantage. So, I don't know, maybe something like that. But
well, actually, I think his rankings would probably better reflect the real situation football-wise in North Carolina than would some California company who doesn't even know who the coach at Cherryville is and
Until
who's
this
playing
past
in
week.
what conference,
Yeah.
and come up with some convoluted system, and then they take that and twist it somehow.
Yeah. So, again, the one thing I will say is I'm glad they don't have we're going to get 2 teams from this conference this year and 3 teams next year, because that's unfair. But, any way you do it, somebody's going to get left out that shouldn't be, and you're going to have a situation where, a number 1 team gets upset by 16. But, even the NCAA tournament, you never would have thought Virginia would have lost that game to Maryland, Baltimore County, or whoever. So, you just never can tell. But, Terry, y'all got a lot to be proud of. West Lincoln played hard. They played tough, and they never gave up. And I know they would love to have a home game. And the other thing you mentioned, West Lincoln, you said the fans don't leave even if they lose by 40 or 50. Well, they didn't have a bad loss this year. I mean, they lost by 1 to North Lincoln. They lost by 14 to Bandy's, and then they lost by 19 to Shelby, and that was a late touchdown. So I mean, they were within 12 points to Shelby. So they had some big wins, and their losses were close. So they did some really good stuff this year.
Well, Jeff, you've got Ashe County coming up next week, and it's at Shelby. You don't have to go up where it's cold and freezing and snowing. Your thoughts on Ashe County, who supposedly throws the ball a lot?
Well, they had a big win tonight, against Salisbury. But I got to tell you, I have no idea. I don't know anything about Ashe County, but I will get to watch a little bit of it on film this week, so I'll be able to. Maybe I can call you Friday before the game and tell you what I thought. But
call Terry.
I have no idea. I have no idea if they throw the ball. Right off the bat, if you throw the ball, I feel pretty good because we got some really good corners and safeties.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You fellas have got a little speed there in the backfield. That might be just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a good job, with pass defense, and but you just never can tell. That's why you play. You play the game. But Shelby's happy to be in the second round, and people are already talking about, hey, they'll get to play at home in the third round. But you got to win that second round game before you can think about the third round.
That's true.
That's true.
Keep Pasco straight next week and tell him not to get too excited about things.
Well, Pasco got to keep me straight. I'm probably the one that you got to worry about. So, but I appreciate it, guys, and
hey, Coach,
I just wanted to talk to you about what I thought West played a good game tonight.
And we didn't even ask you about the prediction on that Duke Carolina game tomorrow.
Well, Duke's already beat North Carolina last week, so North Carolina might actually get a win this week. They're going to play West Carolina.
Oh, West Carolina. Well, I'm not sure about that.
They might get a win. So.
But they did beat Gardner-Webb, so I'm giving them a shot.
That's all right. You never can tell. That's why they play it. You guys take care.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, before you leave, I got a couple of questions to ask about you. A couple of my players that played for me is now over there at Shelby. We got Jaden Scott over there playing linebacker position. We got Dax Hollenfield over there playing linebacker position. We got Dorian Davis in the backfield back there, and Camarde. And Camarde is a 10th grader.
That's right. He had a good game tonight. He sure did. All 4 of those guys had a good game tonight. So. And then, so they're, 2 of them have already signed scholarships to go on the next level, and they seem to be fine young men. They're playing well.
What's going to hold up for next year? What we got coming back for next year on the defense side of the ball besides?
I tell you what.
What do you mean weak, Imosabi?
That's a good question. I'm looking at this year right now. I hadn't even looked at what's happening next year. So I'm sorry. I have to. When I was coaching, we always had to worry about who's coming back next year. But I remember the media.
That's right. There you go. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. You take care.
All right. What do you mean weak, Imosabi?
Okay. Let me clarify my weak.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear that.
I fed that system for 20 years.
Okay.
So I can say I had a point of that.
And your son did go to Shelby. This is a matter of disclosure.
Still at Shelby right now.
And Steve DeGree's son went to Crest. Strange world, Terry.
Him never said we.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Him never said we.
Let's give them those scores one more time, Will. Roll them off for them.
Right. So we got. We'll start where I finished up. I'm gonna go on to these second two, and then I'll let you guys go.
You just do whatever you.
All right. Ashe County over Salisbury 49-14. Bandy's over Franklin 28-14. West Stokes over Fred T. Ford 36-27. South Point over Mount Pleasant 28-7. High Brighton over East Henderson 63-0. Statesville over East Rowan 7-6. Charlotte Catholic over Moorhead 42-7. Freedom gets beat by Monroe 43-20.
The Red Hawks.
Watauga's 49 over Ashbrook 0. And we have Parkland over Asheville 32-19. And Wheatmore over Patton 24-0. Now they said earlier that was a 3-1A, but that's a two-way.
Right. Oh, we've got a caller on the line, Joel Clemmer from Kings Mountain. He's happy tonight because the Mountaineers won 34-0. So Joel, are you there?
Yeah, I just want to say the Mack truck did his thing tonight. 3 touchdowns and Pace Hire had a big catch in the end zone tonight. And seems like everybody who's playing each other next week's got a rematch, like Huss and Chris and Charlotte Cat and Moreau, because Moreau lost to Charlotte Cat early in the season, 21-14. And then I like our chance against Statesville. And nobody ain't really talking about Northwest Cabarrus. Them boys the real deal, too.
Well, Joel, I'm just trying to find a 3A here and see who you guys have got next week. Do you recall? Statesville. You guys got Statesville next week. Joel, any predictions?
I think it's going to be interesting because try to beat the team second 2 weeks in a row, because Statesville beat East Rowan 53-3 2 weeks ago. Then they beat them 7-6 tonight.
Hey, that second time is tough. When you're playing that team second time in the season, they know what you can do. They know how you do it, and they can adjust for some mistakes they made the first time around. So let's hope we get to see a rematch on the Mountaineers and the Chargers. But first, we both got to take care of a little business.
Oh yeah, and y'all have a good weekend. I just want to say I love our chances.
All right, Joel. We wish Kings Mountain Mountaineers a lot of luck. Thank you for calling in. And we have another caller, Andre. Hello? 1 second here.
Hello?
Hey, who have we got?
This is Jeff Miller.
Oh, hey, Jeff. How's it going? What game did you go to tonight, Jeff?
I went to watch Community School of Davidson at Cherryville tonight.
Okay. Well, talk to us about that one.
Well, it was a pretty competitive game. Cherryville was up 14-7 at halftime, and then Community School of Davidson tied it up again in the third quarter, and then Cherryville went up 21-14 again. Then Davidson tied it up, and then Davidson scored a touchdown, with 4 minutes left to go on top. And then Cherryville committed the deadly turnover that allowed Community School of Davidson to run out the clock. And, each team had 2 turnovers apiece, but that turnover proved to be the deadliest of them all, because that pretty much ended the game and ended the season for Cherryville.
Yes, and they were the 7th seed, whereas Community School of Davidson was the 10th seed. So a little bit of an upset tonight there, but it was close, 28-21. Sure probably didn't make Kevin or Andre happy, but Cherryville lost tonight. But looking at some of the other schools in that conference, Bessemer City won big tonight over Highland Tech, 44-8. Is there any other teams that stand out for you and what they did tonight?
Well, I'll tell you this: the big upset heard around the state was East Lincoln 13-10 over Pisgah.
Oh yeah, that one rattled the top because that's a 16 beating a 1, Jeff, and that means that somebody didn't do too good of a job of seeding, or somebody didn't do too good of a job of preparing for the game.
Well, I'll tell you who got no love, during the seeding process, and that's West Lincoln. I mean, they were 9-2 for goodness sakes,
yes.
And then they get rewarded with a trip to a very dangerous Shelby team.
Well, you just excuse me, you just made a great friend in Terry Reinhardt because that was one of the excuse me, Jeff. That was one of the things we talked about earlier. You have a great season. You go 9-2, and the draw is you get Shelby at Shelby. That's not good.
And they were just 1 point away from being able to host a playoff game.
Right.
7-6 loss to North Lincoln, and then only losing the Bandies by 14 points. I mean, really, West Lincoln had a great season, just couldn't put the icing on the cake with a playoff win.
And while they lost by 19 tonight, one of those was a last-minute touchdown. Really, it's more in line of like 12 points that Shelby was up on them. And so from that standpoint, I'd like to give a shout-out to West Lincoln, and I thought the Rebels had a great year, and let's hope they continue on. Jeff, looking at the second-round matchups, you prognosticate a little bit on your website, CarolinaVarsity.com. I'll give you a little plug there. What do you see in the second round as being some of your I'd love to see that matchup?
Well, definitely the Crest at Hunter Huss is a great one to look forward to, and then East Lincoln at North Lincoln.
Yes.
Yeah. How's those two defensive players for Crest that left the game against Kings Mountain? I haven't heard anything about them.
They did not play tonight, to the best of my knowledge. We did have one fellow back, the running back, who's been out for about 6 or 8 weeks. He came back tonight. We were able to use Raekwon Young-Turner more on defense, where he actually could play linebacker rather than have to play running back tonight. So that gave him a little bit more versatility. We changed up the offense a little bit tonight. It was a little more free-flowing. It was a little bit more open to play calling. The calls came in a little bit better on time. The team did not have quite as many what I call mess-ups as far as getting penalties like delay of game or offsides or that kind of stuff. They had cleaned up their act quite a bit. Is there still room for them to open up the playbook and expand? Yes. And so it'll be interesting when they go back to Huss to see the adjustments that they make, how the play calling is different, how the defense reacts to Huss, and how the things do. Are they capable of beating Huss? Yes. Can they beat Huss? That remains to be seen. Jeff, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, last go-around, it was more of Crest's mistakes that did them in.
I agree.
But thing is, though, as the game goes on, and I'm sure some of you guys saw tonight as Hunter Huss played Burns, they give a little at the very beginning of the game, and then they just stiffen and become too rock hard, to move. So, as the game goes on, Hunter Huss just gets better and better. And then, East Lincoln and North Lincoln, that was an 8-point game when those two faced each other earlier, and East Lincoln's gotten better. I think you got a lot of slobber knockers around the area.
Yeah.
I do not know who Kings Mountain plays this coming week. Aren't they playing Weddington?
Let me look and see. Let's see. Kings Mountain will play the winner of Northwest Cabarrus and Jay Robinson played Tuscola, and Northwest Cabarrus played North Buncombe. So I'm not sure who they've got coming up next time. Probably those two are going to match up, and it would be Statesville that Kings Mountain plays. Statesville. And they won tonight 7-6 over East Rowan. Statesville was a 4 seed. East Rowan was a 13. So I'm predicting Kings Mountain in that one.
Oh, yep. I think Kings Mountain can handle Statesville very easily. I think Northwest Cabarrus is a number 1 seed, so I wouldn't see Kings Mountain facing them until like the 3rd round.
Right, and they would have to play. Let's see if I can grab this here and read it upside down. The J.M. Robinson probably would be playing Northwest Cabarrus, and the winner would play the Kings Mountain, who would probably beat Statesville.
We've got a lot of good matchups coming our way this coming week, man.
That second round is tough this year, and I think that's because of the way the 3A and the 3AA spread out. I think actually the 3AA might be the easier bracket this year. Terry's sitting in there. Just nod your head, Terry, if you agree.
He just took a big laugh.
Yeah. Anyway, Terry's still worried about the 2AA, but anyway.
South Point at High Brighton, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a great game. It's going to be a slobber knocker. We're going to see the the triple option run on both sides of the ball. We're going to see whose defense bid or whose defense break.
Well, Jeff, what do you think about Monroe at Charlotte Catholic?
I think Charlotte Catholic wins that one by at least 3 touchdowns.
I don't count out Monroe in terms of coaching. Now, talent-wise, Charlotte Catholic has got it, and they've got coaching. So I'm like you. I'll give the advantage to Charlotte Catholic in that one.
Well, that's why I'm not. That's why I didn't go ridiculous, like a 48-0 or all that. I just think Charlotte Catholic is, the better team, and I feel like we could see whoever wins the Crest Hunter Husk game. I think Charlotte Catholic will be the team waiting on them.
Well, the one game I got to ask you about, Jeff.
Go ahead.
High Brighton and South Point. The clash of the offensive giants.
Or the class of the previous state champs.
True.
Well, I don't know if High Brighton's ever gotten that loss out of their head, to South Point a couple of years ago. So, I think High Brighton will likely have revenge on their minds. And, I think South Point's a little bit more battle-tested than High Brighton. So I kind of have to give that advantage to South Point. But, come playoff time, it's whoever's more ready for the prime time, whoever's ready for the bigger matchups, that's who's going to get it right there. And South Point's used to winning this time of year, and High Brighton, last year they won it all. So, something's going to have to give, man.
Well, Jeff, I know that you have a website. I'm sure you'll be discussing these games and giving your prognostications. Let everybody know what that website is so they can check it out and see what you've got to say this week.
CarolinaVarsity.com, and we also have a Facebook page that y'all can like and follow because we do plenty of Facebook Live too, so we're visual as well.
All right, and check with Anthony Perkins and see what he likes in that High Brighton South Point game.
You know it.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. Terry, you got anything?
Well, the only thing I was going to say, Jeff, when you get these two teams together, South Brighton and High Brighton, neither one of them is going to be intimidated by the other one. Both of them have been in big games. They know what it's about now since High Brighton's all of a sudden made themselves one of the top teams in the 2A bracket. And the biggest thing about it is you got High Brighton coming in with 28 straight games that they have allowed less than 20 points. And, you got South Point coming in, a team that you're going to have to stop that red bone offense. And that's going to be tough. So if they come up and they can stop that. But, South Point's not scared of that. They've been to big games before, and this is just another game that's in their way.
Exactly. So something's going to have to give, man.
All right. Well, Jeff, thank you very much. Give us a call next week and let us know what you looked at and give us your opinions on the games.
Yes, sir. You got it.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, Terry. We're down to the second round. Yep. That's Will summed it up pretty well. Bing. What was your other than the Pisgah East Lincoln victory tonight for East Lincoln, what stood out to you among these games that were played tonight?
Well, when I look it over, I feel sorry for Cherryville. That's a game that they led until late in the game. Community, about like it happened in the regular season. They pretty much led the whole game, had some turnovers, and in this game, they led all the way until the fourth quarter, and then bam, things happen, and you end up getting beat. But we got somebody else on the line right now, so we'll go back to the phone line.
All right, Bobby. Hello, Bobby. Bobby?
From Shelby.
Hey, Bobby.
What about them Shelby Golden Lions?
Well, they were golden tonight, weren't they, Bobby? Tell me all about the game and give us your thoughts on the situation tonight.
Well, they just played typical football tonight as well. I think they played, like I said, they played well enough for victory tonight. Of course, we had, the only thing I hated about that game tonight in the long run, that it was a lot of poor officiating, and it seemed like they took up over a lot of time, and it just made the game a lot longer tonight. There were some calls being made, but nevertheless, I will say, as some of them have said tonight, West Lincoln has a pretty good football team. I think the guy's name was Kevin Bridges. The boy was awesome. I'm pretty sure that somebody's going to be picking him up in the future. He was an outstanding football player tonight, and he really impressed me. I didn't know he could play like that, but, one thing I like about it, Shelby stood up in the long run and went on to defeat West Lincoln tonight. As I said earlier, they do have a good football team.
Well, Bobby, you're Mr. Golden Line, and I've got Mr. Rebel, Terry Reinhardt here. So I'm going to let you two guys talk about the game and the players tonight. Terry?
Well, Bobby, I'm going to tell you, Cannon Bridges is the guy that you're talking about. And, he's really come on this year. He might have set a record at West Lincoln for the most tackles in a season. I know he went in tonight with like 100, but he only needed like 14 to break it. And I'm quite sure with what he was doing tonight, he probably broke that record. But go ahead, Bobby.
Well, I didn't realize till the second half that he was playing on both sides of the field tonight on offense and defense, and he really showed up, and he played well tonight. West Lincoln, they executed well tonight, and it kind of scared me a little bit. They just come out there and they kind of surprised us at the beginning when they come back and got that touchdown. But I'm just thankful that the Shelby defense rose to the occasion, and they got to tightening up. I know Kevin ran a couple of touchdowns tonight, I believe, and he took it down the field. I mean, that boy's got speed, and but finally they figured out what he was doing, and he was just off tackle, and somehow he had two guys in front of him to block him real good, and somehow next thing I know he was going down the field settling in for the touchdown for West Lincoln.
Well, Bobby, we find that you guys are playing Ashe County next week, and we talked to Steve and we talked to Jeff. They seem to be a team that passes a lot. Any thoughts that you have about the Shelby High School defense and how they can handle those teams that like to throw the ball a lot?
Well, I'm sure that West Lincoln, I'm sure that the team they're playing next week, they're gonna be prepared for that. We got a good defensive passing defense, and our secondaries are improved a lot on the defense. So we should be ready to play them on next week. And I noticed their quarterback can throw. So we're gonna have to really tighten up on the front, on the line, on defense. And I think once we get that going, we should be able to stop them.
Well, a good way to stop that is not only your defensive backs, but something you guys have that Steve DeGree knows about too. If you got a good pass rush and you got some guys that can go out there and attack that quarterback before he throws the ball, it really helps your chances of either intercepting the ball or getting a turnover.
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, I'm pretty sure that Coach Lanswear and them, they'll figure out how to get something worked out about that. But I'm just so glad that Shelby came out to big and played well, and they played on both ends tonight, and they executed well on the offense. And I'm just so thankful for that. And I just hope they'll keep it up, and maybe we're going back to another state championship.
Well, Bobby, we sure do appreciate, as always, your calling tonight. Hopefully you'll give us a buzz next week and tell us about the next Shelby victory that takes place.
Well, as I said earlier, Shelby's just going to have to keep executing the ball. And one thing for sure, we're gonna play hard. We're gonna give it out we can, and hopefully we're gonna come out and just I hope more fans will come out this week and next week. And just cheer Shelby on to victory on next week.
All right. Thank you very much, Bobby. We appreciate your call.
All right. Thank you so much.
Dennis, he's talking, and we're all in with this because if Shelby, again, they play Ashe County, and you got to be ready to play next week. You are playing at home, but if they were to survive next week, and then you got North Lincoln playing East Lincoln, so we know we could be all the way to the fourth round.
Wow.
Just with that happening, and that'd be great for us because we are here that we want to see our teams go all the way. Yeah, we're looking at that other side of that bracket, and we see High Brighton over there, but we know that'll be the Western Finals before those teams would end up having to touch them, even if South Point don't knock them off next week.
There you go. And that's a possibility as well.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got a team coming in with 28 straight games. They've allowed less than 20 points. And, again, this is a game South Point's been in. So, I mean, it's not like they're going to go into some kind of a game they've never seen before. They've seen plenty of these.
And who is more familiar with the offense that High Brighton runs than Shelby? Because they have to play those things. South Point is familiar with it. So this could be a series of tough games for High Brighton.
Well, it could. And don't get me wrong, High Brighton's got two great running backs, Witherspoon and Jones, both of them over 1,000 yards. One of them with over 30 touchdowns on the year. And, we know they stout. I mean, they're defending champion. And when you bring back 19 out of 22 guys who was on your team from last year, that says enough for itself.
Well, Terry, looking at tonight's games, other than that Pisgah East Lincoln situation, I thought hats off to the Mustangs.
I love it.
I do too.
I love it.
And that conference as a whole, Terry, you were pointing out earlier.
They're 2-4.
Supposedly the toughest conference in North Carolina.
Well, I mean, that's how they want to put it in there. Said it was their strength of schedule. Okay, if that's who you playing, and your strength of schedule, High Brighton beat your bottom team 63-0, and and then Pisgah gets knocked off. Congratulations to Coach Lubowitz down there at East Lincoln. I mean, a lot of people didn't give him a chance, thought there was no way that he could win his game. But that game stayed 10-7 for a long time, before East Lincoln scores at the very end to win the game. So congratulations to them. But other games around here, North Lincoln, no trouble with Smoky Mountain, 42-6.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much manhandled them pretty easily. And you going down there, Hunter Huss, another win. I mean, we're used to that now from them. And Crest, an easy win over Stuart Kramer. Kings Mountain just keeps on rolling. You look over at Bessemer City over Highland Tech, they go to 19-0 versus Highland Tech now.
Polk County tonight.
Yeah, Polk County with a win, over number 6, East Wilkes. Swain County over number 9, 13-6. We knew that'd be tough. I gave Mountain Island Charter a little bit more, but Swain County, hey, they showed up. You're playing up there, and I don't know how many Elijah Burris might have had or not had, but somebody stopped him.
All right, Terry, let's give the all the scores, guys, again, and we got to get out of here in just a few months. Let's give scores and get out of here for tonight.
All right. So it was Cherryville falling to Community School at Davidson 28-21. North Lincolnton over Smoky Mount 42-6. Shelby over West Lincoln 27-8. Hunter Huss over Burns 45-6. Crest over Stuart Kramer 41-14. And Kings Mountain over West Rowan 34-0.
All right, we had Bessemer City 44, Highland Tech 8. East Wilkes lost to Polk Central tonight, 33-16. Polk Central was 11, and East Wilkes was a 6. We had Mountain Island Charter losing to Swain County tonight, 13-6. East Rutherford, the number 3 seed in this conference, 17-10 over Maiden. Reedsville 49-13 over Charles D. Owen. And in the big upset of the night, it was East Lincoln Mustangs 13, number 1 seeded Pisgah 10. Terry?
It was Ashe County 49, Salisbury 14. Bandies defeats Franklin 28-14. Fretty Ford loses to West Stokes 36-27. South Point defeats Mount Pleasant 28-7. Highbright no trouble with East Henderson 63-0. And Statesville over East Rowan 7-6.
All right, it was Charlotte Catholic over Moorhead 42-7. Freedom Falls to Monroe 43-20. It was Watauga over Ashbrook 49-0. And it was Portland over Asheville 32-19. And Wheatmore over Patton 24-0.
Well, Kevin, does that wrap us up for tonight?
Yes, it does.
But we will be back.
We'll be back next week. Pre-game show next Friday night, 5:37 of Terry and Carson. And Tom Sinfani will be guest hosting next Friday.
All right.
Then we'll have the post-game show again. Our games next week, Ashe County at Shelby, Kings Mountain at Statesville, Crest at Huss, and East Lincoln at North Lincoln. Folks, you've been listening and watching the Renaldo Automall post-game show live on YouTube and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Oh, and Kevin, before we go.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say one word. Lewis Carpenter, thank you for all your years of doing the post-game show. Yes. You will be missed.
Yeah, me and Terry talked a little bit about him last Saturday. For folks like him, is what makes high school sports great. His name's on the press box for a reason, and you don't get your name volunteering put on the wall much, right? With that, a lot of people don't get their names on things without paying for them or them being paid to doing it. And when you volunteer and get your name on something, you put some effort in it and into it. Last year, Coach Philip Russ and the gang. They held they had Lewis back out there. Now he couldn't get in the press box because of his health or whatever, but they put up a tent and let Lewis do the PA like old times. Game against Cherryville, and Lewis and the spirits that be had the Bessemer came back. We did it on video and everything too, and Bessemer came back in the I think 7th inning to win that game. And Coach Philip Russ and the gang this year, Terry and everybody go out there and support him this year. They're dedicating, of course, this season to Lewis and his memory there at Bessemer. So Dennis, like you said, we'll miss him, man. And so Will Boykins, Dennis Davis, Terry Reinhardt, Calvin, everybody that stopped by tonight, I want to thank everybody. We're going to see you guys next Friday night on the Renaldo Automall post-game show.
Listen to Dr. Randy Davis on the Sea Cruise every Monday from 2 until 6 on The Boss. Your beach, oldies, and sports station.
WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, and W268CU Shelby.